This is Entrepreneurs Get Visible, the podcast for people who want more impact, influence, and income. I'm Anna Parker-Naples, and I'll be sharing with you proven methods from leading entrepreneurs that help you get visible as an authority in your field. Because anything's possible when you get visible. Hello to everyone listening to Entrepreneurs Get Visible today. We're talking today about a topic that I think desperately needs to be heard. And the reason that this needs to be heard is that we have a bit of a problem online. And those of you interested in building your profile and standing out from the crowd have no doubt come across the fear of something happening to you online in social media, that fear of judgment. And we're talking today about a very special event that's happening today that's been created by my guest. And I'm joined today by Mayah, Riaz, who is a publicity coach and celebrity manager. And what she has created is Social Media Kindness Day. I said that wrong, so I'm going to say it again. Social Media Kindness Day, which is today. And this is something that is going out nationally, internationally, and it's very much needed. So welcome to the show, and I'm delighted to have you here.
Thank you, Anna. Nice to be here.
So talk to us a little bit about who you are and what you do, and why we've decided to get you on the show today.
Okay, I'm best known as a celebrity manager, PR to the stars. It's what I've been doing for 16 years, making famous people even more famous. Most of your listeners may be aware, definitely in the UK, that earlier this year, sadly, on the back of Caroline Flack's death, that I pivoted. It was a moment, I think it happened previously, but it hadn't hit so close as it did when Caroline passed away, that I just realised I couldn't be in that industry anymore. I felt like a hypocrite if I kept going into it. So I decided to pivot and leave the industry. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I have since become a publicity coach. However, because Caroline's death hit too deep for it to just be an event that happened or something in history, or the Be Kind hashtag that carried on but really meant nothing, I wanted to do something. So today would have been, or should have been, Caroline's 41st birthday. And in her legacy, I've set up Social Media Kindness Day. We're hearing about it more and more, about how social media negatively impacts not only celebrities, but young girls, young boys, business owners, people who just use it for personal reason. It affects so many people, and most people don't put themselves out there like they should or ought to because of that fear of trolling. You know, it's no secret Caroline had Fathers of Justice and other people trolling her. And it was, trial by social media. And that can't be right. But it's not just celebrities that get trolled, it's everyday people. And I want to create something that's more than just a hashtag that is very soon forgotten, but more a movement. And that's what today is.
Now, for many of my listeners are international, so I just want to delve into some areas of that story. So Caroline Flack is a very well-known British presenter on some of the UK's leading programs, and has been for, I would say, probably 20 years. And you worked very, very closely with Caroline. She's a friend of yours. And what happened for Caroline, my interpretation, just watching what happened on social media, she had an incident happen in her personal life that the press got hold of, that then she was, before the trials happened, before everything went to court, she was hounded on social media. She was judged by people on social media with an opinion, and this escalated. And unfortunately, that caused all sorts of problems for Caroline. And she didn't let people know how much she was affected by that. And Caroline is no longer with us. And it's incredibly sad. And I felt very touched by what happened to Caroline. She's a similar age to me. And, I think I grew up and there she was on TV, on everything, doing some amazing, incredible things. And her energy and her enthusiasm. I mean, I don't know her, but I was very aware of the kind of personality that she had. And I can't imagine what that's been like for you. And one of the things we discussed before we came on this show is that this Social Media Kindness Day and what you've created is getting a lot of press. You're going to be on so many different TV programs today. So I'd imagine for many of you listening, if you're listening on the 9th of November, wherever you turn today, you're going to hear a little bit about Social Media Kindness Day and Mayah and what she's doing. Mayah and what she's doing. And I think it's important. And one of the challenges with this is that what you're doing is you're creating a movement. But what the press are going to want to do is build onto that hook of a celebrity no longer being with us and choosing because they couldn't cope with what was happening. And that's challenging.
Absolutely. It's something I prepared for, being in the game that I am, and I use that word on purpose. It's a game. 1 minute you're on top, the next nobody wants to know you. You know what the industry is like. It's air kisses to your face and people stabbing you in the back. Now, I am very careful to protect the privacy of Caroline. It's in her memory, in her legacy. So years to come, when people, hopefully Social Media Kindness Day won't be needed for much longer because there won't be a reason for it. But it's something that people will remember her. It wasn't like she's been on this planet and she's gone. However, one thing I will not speak to the press about is the personal trials and tribulations that she faced. So I have got answers prepared. And, you know, we saw it on the back of her death, the evening she passed away. It was the day after Valentine's Day. Tabloids that had posted, you know, mock-up of Valentine's card that were, they somehow saw it was funny. Those were removed. And then in place of negative articles, there were tributes. There were heartfelt tributes. And I couldn't, you know, the same journalists that wrote those damning articles while she was alive, which people then went online, shared it, spoke about it, attacked her. And then something like this happens. And I love how you say it really impacted you, because I saw that. Friends of mine who never knew Caroline, it really impacted them. And it really showed the type of person she was. She came into your living rooms. She was as on screen as she was off screen. And that feeling, I don't think there's been a death like it that people really related to.
I think there's so many issues here. And one is around mental health. And two is around the culture that we have online. And many of us, particularly exacerbated by COVID and lockdown, our lives are happening online. It's not, you can't just say it's just social media, because it isn't. Many of us, you and I included, our businesses thrive because of our online presence. So how do we make sure and manage that this is an environment that is comfortable, that is kind? And so what I'd like to delve into is what you want the ripple effect to be of addressing this today, because I think I really do recognise that you were close with her, and it's still not that long ago.
Yeah.
And what it means to you to decide to do this, knowing what's coming for you as a result of this movement. Where does it stem from, and what do you hope for it?
Okay, so one of the things on the back of today, when I say I want it to be more than just a hashtag, when we see trolling online, one thing that I have certainly been guilty of is scrolling by, not calling it out, not calling out the bullies. So there will be a meme that people can download from the website and save it on their phone and remind people, just for kindness, in a kind way, because to tackle bullying and trolling, I believe should still be done kindly. You don't, the bullies, I've done a lot of work on trolling and why people troll. They're essentially not happy with their own lives, and it's manifesting that online to make themselves feel better. So it's just a kind of way of reminding people what happens. And then check up on the person that's being trolled, because what we see is, I've seen negative comments, scrolled by, not done anything. You never know the impact. So on receiving that, has. So I've been familiar with late night calls with celebrity clients who have been trolled, and they may get thousands and thousands of absolutely amazing comments. It's a handful, and it's human nature. It's that one or two comments that really stick and that you remember or you fall apart at. And these are people. Celebrities have got agents, managers, publicists, people around them looking after. Business owners don't have that. They're not trained how to handle it. They can't hand over their account to somebody else. So working with businesses as a publicity coach, one thing I've really heard loud and clear is business owners don't put themselves out there, whether it's online or in the media. It's because of what other people will say about themselves. It starts with family. Oh my gosh, what will my mum think? Who will my neighbour think I am? And then it's, oh, once I do that, what about the negative comments? What about the trolling? Because it's become something that we, dare I say, have started to accept as part of being on social media.
Accept and expect.
Yeah, expect as well. And it's like, oh, if you do too much online, if you expose yourself or have an open Facebook account or Instagram, Twitter account, then people will message you negatively. So I say to clients, and it's easier said, I'm aware, unless someone is paying your mortgage, don't care about what they're saying. And if they're paying your mortgage and still negative, find a way of paying your own mortgage, because we are here once. We don't know how long we're here. And if we're not living our own lives, doing what we want, these people who have no impact on your life day to day and are probably not who they say they are, why are you allowing them to stop you living your best life, the hashtag living your best life?
There's something here. So there's the people who actually go out and create their own new accounts so they control people. And this is happening to some business coaches and people who are being tremendously successful. And that's actually happening to them. And they're being trolled not just on their Facebook groups and their LinkedIn accounts and their Facebook accounts, but also, maybe over on like review sites for their businesses and things. And then there's the other level, which is something I've experienced myself, where within a Facebook group, even one that is, managed, one that I managed myself, some other people threatened by my growth in the industry that I was in, pulling me down, tearing me down. Now, I'm a pretty strong woman. However, if something's going on in my personal life and you've caught me at a low moment, at a low ebb, and you said the wrong thing that just hurts, and then someone else, those fans have been flamed by somebody else and everybody adds fuel to that fire. A particular weekend I recall, which was about 8-9 years ago now, I went from being so excited about managing a particular group for my business, to build my business, to being absolutely pulled down to the point that I closed the group, and I really thought long and hard about whether I could continue in that industry at all. And it happened and escalated very, very quickly. And we're not even talking about the levels that happen when the tabloids get hold of a problem. And I think that's the thing. If you are not managing your own behaviours online, if you're not checking in with, am I standing by or am I standing up? But the other thing is, sometimes I will see something I don't like online, but decide to stay quiet because I don't want to give more energy and focus to the bad stuff.
It's a don't feed the trolls, isn't it?
Don't feed the trolls. But very often I will be the one who reaches out and says, you okay with that? I saw that today. Because I know what it's been like to be in that situation. And for those of you who think, oh gosh, actually maybe on social media, there are some things I post or comment on that could be inflammatory. Just stop and ask yourself, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? What's the knock-on effect of that? Because many people will read your comment, will read that discussion that's gone way beyond a discussion, and that you will be the one that people remember and say, I remember when she said that, I didn't like that.
Yeah, we leave imprints online, and that's why the social media logo, it's on the O, there's a thumbprint. We forget that by typing with our thumbs on our phones. those messages are there forever. You see it on popular reality TV shows when someone goes into the jungle, all of a sudden, 5-10 years ago, their tweets have just come to light because it's there forever for everyone to see, and the negative impact on there. And, especially young people, if you're doing that and leaving negative comments, you don't know whether you're going to become a lawyer or politician or what you're going to be doing in life later on. And that will be there all saved, your history online. But also, happy people don't need to go online and leave negative comments. And I think when people understand why people troll, 9 to 5, they're probably living someone else's lives. They come home, probably spend 4 hours watching somebody else's lives on soap boxes and whatever, come on live and see people living their best lives. And then either it's saying the celebrity they've left a message on isn't getting back to them, and in order to get some attention, they're negative, because the attention might not come from the celebrity, it may come from their fans, or it's just a release. I've had conversations when we've done documentaries behind the scenes of trolls, and they've been respectful people in their everyday lives, and they've gone to the shed at the end of their garden. Their wife and their children don't know they're doing it. This is, real life comment from someone who has been trolling and saying it's a way of releasing, the anger, the built up stress of everyday life. And it's a huge problem online because you can't see the hurt. If someone left me a negative comment and it really hurt, they won't see how I interpret that. They won't see the hurt in my eye or in my face. And we behave online like we would never behave in everyday life. And, the child who is being bullied at school, my days, and I'm showing my age, but when I used to be bullied at school, I left it at the school gates. But now for children, it's at the end of their fingertips on their phones. They can be bullied at home in the comfort of their room.
So let's talk about this then. So there's 2 things I want us to discuss. What's the knock-on effect if this is something we don't tackle? And then what's the ripple effect through the world if the message behind your movement that you're beginning now today is heard loud and clear?
So the ripple effect of it, I hope it's not needed in a few years. So that's the easy one, where when we go online and we don't think by posting a photo we'll get negative comments, but also the direct impact of trolling, we probably will never see. We probably will never see how it's impacted their mental health, whether the person has committed suicide on the back of negative comments, because the people it really affects or impacts are people online that don't have the profile Caroline did. So therefore, you may have heard of Caroline's death.
And it doesn't have to be because you're going to court about something. It could be something minor about the way you look, or the bullying behaviours come for so many reasons, but no real reason. And it comes in all sorts of shapes and forms and comments about, and if you think about it, we're many of us here are business owners. Many of us listening today are business owners. Judgments about what you're doing in your business, whether your work is good enough, whether you have the right to be doing what you're doing, whether you should be posting the things you're posting, that can be crippling for moving your life forward. It can affect your bottom line. It can affect your profit. It can affect the money you bring into your household. Never mind how it makes you feel as an individual to be on the receiving end.
Yeah, I dread to think how many 6-7 bigger businesses aren't born because in the early days they faced trolling and they decided this isn't for me. It's the rise of the entrepreneurship this year due to COVID. How many businesses aren't going to live their best business life because of trolling, because they realize they probably can't play too big, they have to play small, because we aren't taught how to handle trolls. And that's why increasingly I'm doing more work in schools, because that's where it starts. We're the first generation going through this. We can't allow the next generation to think trolling, bullying, unkindness online is acceptable and just a way of when you start a Twitter account or Instagram account, that is what you should expect.
I don't think there's a single person listening who doesn't believe that this is needed. So what can we do? What can everyone listening today to take personal responsibility for helping this movement, and not just the movement, the results of the movement, be heard?
I think the first thing is don't buy into the saying, do not feed the trolls, because by not feeding the trolls, you let it carry on, you let it magnify. Addressing the negative comments, and come onto our website and have a look at the resources we've got. Social media ethics are on there, means that you can just politely remind somebody that you think is trolling,
they've crossed a line.
Yeah, and kindly, remember everything that you're doing. It's kind, and then check up on the person, because you never know the power of kindness. So that's the first thing. But just spread the word, and we've got the sign. If you type the hashtag into social media platforms, Social Media Kindness Day, you'll see everyone doing the love sign. Love is a universal language. It's the sign that we're asking people to take a selfie of doing, is British and American Sign Language sign for love. Love is a language we all understand, regardless of race, religion, language barriers. And then tag your friends. But there is an important thing on our website. We are asking you to pledge playing your part in making social media kind. And hopefully it's my big dream that by next year we have about 1 million people that have registered their pledges to play their part in being kind. And just spread the word.
So where do people need to go to find out more about this? Today. You need to do this today. If you're listening on the 9th of November, it is today.
Yeah, go on to socialmediakindnessday.com and type in the hashtag Social Media Kindness Day into Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You'll find us and get involved.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I think it's really important that we do talk about the dark side of visibility, the dark side of what many celebrities have to go out there. And now big business owners are finding that they can be on the receiving end of it. And it's what mental state they are in does depend on or how it affects them. And we can never know someone else and what they're at from one day to the next. So please go and support Social Media Kindness Day. That's it for today. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to Entrepreneurs Get Visible. To get your free checklist on how to raise your profile and to find out about our community, go to annaparkernaples.co.uk/get visible.